The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers, right along with my other host. He's back this week, the Byron Bagwell.
Hello, everybody.
Sitting over here to my right is our director and producer. He is the dancing destroyer himself, Mr. Dave Holland. Say hello, David.
Hello, everybody.
No Austin Stevens tonight. He's got a prior commitment, so I will be doing the weather in his spot. But Austin, go ahead and take care of your things, and we appreciate everything that you do. Before we get started, also don't forget about our sister page, On the Spot Motorsports. Hey, media, hosted by Mitchell Gunner and Mr. Robert. They do a great job each and every Thursday. They come on at 7 o'clock when they have a guest. Mitchell did tell me he will not be doing a show this week, but he's got some things coming up. It's fixing to get busy for that page, David and Byron, for sure. As the racing season is coming in full force right now, he's going to be live streaming races over at Gainesville Raceway. They've got plans to go to a couple of different places. So make sure, if you're a motorsports enthusiast, check out On the Spot Motorsports media page, host Mitchell Gunner and co-host Robert, and they will bring you all the information that you will need to know during this race season. Again, welcome into On the Spot. Let's get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night. If I can ask you, please, to remove your hats, and if you're at home, please follow in prayer with us. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for the time that we have as a brotherhood, dear Lord, to be able to bring this show to all of our viewing audience, dear Lord, and that you keep blessing us and you just keep giving us the right information. Keep feeding us, dear Lord, and put your hand on us as we give the information out, and that our viewers and our followers take that and do as they need to do with it, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, dear Lord, the United States of America. It is the most freest and powerful country in the world today. Yes, dear Lord, we do have our own issues and our own problems that we need to resolve. But with your guiding hand and your guiding touch to all of our politicians that are now in office and that will be taking future office, that you just keep touching them and blessing them, dear Lord, that they make the right decision, not for them, but for us, dear Lord, the people that live in this great country. Thank you for the armed forces, each and every one of those men and women that go out and serve each and every day, and that you keep a hedge of protection over them, whether they're abroad or whether they're overseas, dear Lord, that you bring them back safely to their families. Also, those that have served before, dear Lord, and given the ultimate sacrifice, and that was their life, the red blood that they have shed, so we'll be able to live in this great country. Thank you for the everyday workers, dear Lord, the common workers that make America go, dear Lord, our drivers, our truck drivers, our railroad workers, anybody that's in manufacturing, steel, anybody that works to try to make America thrive, dear Lord. You keep your hedge of protection over them and to put your guiding and touching hand on them, dear Lord, as they are out there trying to do what is right and the right thing for not only their families, but for this country. Again, thank you for our first responders, each and every one of those men and women that go out each and every day and put their lives on the line to keep us safe, dear Lord, from whatever it is that means and wants to harm us, dear Lord, and that we know that we can go home back safely and lay in our beds, dear Lord, know that help will be on its way, dear Lord. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day, and it goes to the nourishment of our bodies, and our bodies to thy service. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, and I've seen many of them today. Please touch each and every one of them. And you are the guiding hand. You are the healer. You are the comforter. You can comfort each and every one of those men and women, children, whoever it may be, dear Lord, that is having an issue or a problem. Again, thank you for this great day, this great night, and this great week that you're going to give us, dear Lord. And until we can meet again, we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says,
Amen.
Amen. Let us stand for our pledge. And since Mr. Bagwell was not here, I'm going to ask him to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Again, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers. Here he is, my other host and Friday Night Football comrade. He is the Byron Bagwell. Say hello, Byron.
Hello, everybody.
And go ahead and say your famous little deal.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes? No.
Patriots?
Miscreants. Yes. Patriots.
Infidels.
And
And miscreants.
miscreants. Right over here to my right is the dancing destroyer himself. That's Super Dave Holland. He's back here producing the Direction Show, bringing you all these great graphics that you see in front of you, whether you're watching on your phone, your iPad, your television. Hey, I know some people that plug it into their television and they watch it on their television. Sure, you can do that. Hey, technology's great, right?
I just hate to see our ugly mugs on a big screen.
Well, oh boy, yeah, you ain't kidding. That's why I like the
Faces
radio.
made for radio. Yeah.
Hey, that's why I like the radio, Byron. You know that? That's why I like the radio call, because they don't see our faces.
Yeah.
We look at each other and we laugh at each other. But hey, here, they can laugh at us.
Yep, that's it.
That's it right there. That's it. See? Even our producers and directors laughing. Shenanigans going on here. So we got a special guest with us tonight. He'll be coming on in just a few minutes. His name is Billy Rayberg. All of y'all know him. He used to work down at Jackson Building Supply, doing his own little thing now. We're going to talk to him in a few minutes. We've got a special thing coming up that Byron even doesn't know about. That he doesn't know a single thing. You don't either. We're going to get into that here in just a few minutes. Something that's going to be affiliated with Bradford High School. And we'll talk about that. Yes, sir. Talk about that. It's big plans. And I think as me and Billy talked about this, it's going to bring the community out. And it's a once in a life, I don't want to say lifetime thing, but it's a thing that we believe could carry on to other schools.
Sure.
Eventually. So we're going to have him talk about that here in just a few minutes. So do you have a patriotic quote of the night before we move? Well, let's go ahead and let's see if we can guess it.
Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something.
Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, boy. I don't know. Well, let me ask something.
First Republic, not a founding father.
Not a founding father. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't have to be a founding father, right? No, not at all. So, I'm gonna say.
No.
I'm gonna say Mark Twain.
First Republic.
Oh, First Republic.
First Republic.
Okay.
The First Republic.
The First Republic.
That should give you a.
That'll give you a good hint.
Everybody a good hint. This
That
is a
should
long
be.
time ago.
Yeah, that should give everybody a pretty good hint.
And more than likely, it's one of the philosophers. So that should narrow it down to 4 or 5 that people know.
Yep, 4 or 5 that people know. Okay. I'm going to go with. Gosh, man. I always guess the wrong one, but I'm going to take a stab. Okay? I'm going to go Aristotle.
Okay.
Gives you the other 4. I don't want to take a guess.
Most people can't remember the 5th one.
No. I think I know the 5th.
My mind's blank.
Plato? Socrates?
Okay.
You take Plato?
I'll take Socrates.
You'll take Socrates.
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 Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Oh, boy. Yeah, well, hang on a minute. Dwight Allen just asked me a question.
I love Donald Trump, but he is not a philosopher.
So while they're getting a guess, this will answer your question here. Shirley Bagwell's on, Dwight Allen's on, D.A. Dennis Cruz, thank you, sir. Good evening to you, Miss Shirley. I hope Donnie's doing better, and I think he is a little bit, isn't he? Just
a little bit.
Yeah, he's doing a little bit better, so that's good. Hello, Jeff Goins out of Vidalia, Georgia. Good evening, fellow Patriots. Good to see Brother Byron back. Yes, we are too. Yeah, absolutely. Hope Billy took his meds. Well, with that answer, Dwight Allen, I don't think Billy did take his meds. But that's all right. No, Billy's all right, man. He's good to go. We've been talking to him. He's all right. He'll be all right on the show.
Oh, goodness. Off the rails already. Yep.
Does Gordon know you do that? Never mind. All right. All right. So I don't have anybody.
Ability. I have no idea what.
No, I have none either.
Talking about tonight.
Greetings from the Bahamas, Jimmy Langley. How about that, Jimmy? Hey, what's the weather like in the Bahamas? Give us a little weather report. I probably don't want to see it or hear it.
About 83 or
Probably. Yeah.
It's probably 80s.
So, sunny. Well, it's nighttime there now, so I'm sure they're sipping back the old pina coladas and margaritas and daiquiris and all that good stuff that goes with island life that Jimmy knows about. Me and you don't know anything about it, do we, Dave?
Give me the sailor rum.
What in the hell is going on?
Give me the sailor rum. That's all I'm going to say about that. Give me the sailor rum.
Yeah, we can do that too. All right, I don't see any guesses there, B, so we'll go ahead to keep the show moving. What you got?
Yeah, all are wrong. It was Play-Doh.
Oh, man. You did take Play-Doh.
That was going to be my next.
So he's so great. I gave you Play-Doh.
You did. Really quick. Nobody is going to know who this is. So no name associated with it. It's just really a good one. Most propaganda is not designed to fool the critical thinker, but only to give moral cowards an excuse not to think at all.
Ooh, that's strong.
It is strong there.
It's a guy by the name of Michael Rivero. And pardon me if you do know who that is, but that's a deep dig there. But that's just a really great quote. I mean, think about that. Most propaganda is not designed to fool the critical thinker, but only to give moral cowards an excuse not to think at all.
Well, here we go again with everything that we've been talking about. Let's call it, really. What are we on? We're on our 6th year?
Yeah.
We're in our 6th year, right?
Yes, sir.
6th year. Just started off the whim. And we'll get into that later on. But as we've been talking, and we've been bringing Byron and Mitchell on, we've been talking about this. Like you said, that is pretty dadgum deep right there. And it's the truth of what's going on today. And even back when we started the show, B, we've talked about this and talked about this.
I've got a subject I'm going to bring up tonight. It's going to be a surprise. We're probably going to talk a little bit about Israel, but I also need a little bit of time at the end of this because I'm going to ask everybody in the room a question. Okay. And I want your honest, truthful opinions on this. Okay. And then I'm going to explain to everybody about how you are wrong.
Okay, that ought to be interesting.
Because there's only one answer to the question I'm going to ask, and I'm not giving any more about it than what I just did.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Hey, Jimmy Langley said it's 90, blowing 90, and he says raining in low 70s.
Wow, totally opposite.
Of blowing, wait a minute.
30.
It's blowing 30 mile an hour. Yeah, 30
it's
miles.
Not 30 knots.
Yeah. Raining in low 70s, which is still not bad there. Hey, he's probably sitting back in his living room, got us on the TV, surfing on that dadgum margarita or whatever, and watching David and Byron Bagwell do their thing.
Get the good sailor rum, and you don't need all that mixture.
Well, some people don't like sailor rum. Some people don't like sailor rum.
It's what. I'm not talking about the brand Sailor. I'm just talking about. It's a type of rum. It's almost like a fine Scotch. You don't need
right. And I got you. But some people may not like. I do.
What they got issues.
Then they got issues. Melissa Cribbs, thank you for watching as well. Again, welcome on the spot with David Rodgers. He is the Byron Bagwell, Dave Holland, special guest Billy Rayberg, who we will be bringing in. Man, I couldn't say my S's last week. Now I can't say anything. So we'll be bringing him in, and we'll be talking about some things that are going on over at Bradford High School, something that we came up with just off the cuff, really, like you were saying about your subject tonight that you want to keep. We sort of were talking, and this just blew up in our head, and he's like, man, I'm going to take this and run. So he made some phone calls. He did, Billy. Billy made some phone calls and said, yeah, we can make this happen. Matter of fact, people are excited that this is going to happen. I got people in suspense at home. They're going, what in the heck's going on?
Yeah.
Well,
by the way,
yeah.
before I forget to just thank you, Dad, for the discussion we're going to have a little bit later on tonight. You inspired me after I got off the phone with you a little bit earlier about this.
Well, I hope Dad's listening in. I hope he's better to listen in. I know your mom, your beautiful mom's listening in. So hopefully we can get some things rolling with that. So we got a little bit of news and some things coming up. I want to talk about first about what we did Saturday night. 3 of us gentlemen here at the table went to the North Florida Regional Chamber of Commerce banquet, and it was a very nice time.
Yes, it was.
The food was good. The scenery was good as far as the decorations. Lisa, It's Your Day Bridal, did a good job of decorating the place. It was Hollywood themed, and they really had that stage looking good. We went up there and took a picture up there, of course. It was really a lovely time. I want to congratulate a couple of people. First of all, the Business of the Year went to the RV resort camp out there by Orange Blossom. Well deserved. Well deserved. He's got a good group out there, and well-deserved honor there. And he was very gracious in getting that award. And 2 people that we've all known or should known for a long time. And they got the humanitarian award. Both of them received it. One is Mr. Pete Giannis, Dr. Giannis, and Mr. Bobby Autry. 2 good men that were part of Bradford County and a part of Bradford County history. And they got the Humanitarian of the Year awards, and their families come up there and accepted it graciously, Byron. And old Ben Carter there that was emceeing the whole event, which, by the way, he did a fine job. He was about to tear up, wasn't he, there? He couldn't. He got choked up a little bit trying to talk about Giannis and Autry. And, well, why wouldn't you, man? Everybody knew those guys. Everybody, if they wasn't their doctor or their pharmacist, they still knew him. You know what I mean?
You talk to anybody that worked as EMT or paramedic or anything around the fire. Talk to the nurses. Talk to anybody about Dr. Pete, and you'll start to understand how influential he was in Bradford County as far as medicine went. Just a rock of this community.
And Mr. Autry, one of the best pharmacists around here, he worked at several different pharmacies here, with his own thing. And then, both of these guys did worldwide things. They would go on excursions and give their services for free. And as their family said, they didn't even want no recognition. What did Ben Carter say? Man, I'm sitting here talking about it, and they're probably looking down at me and go, man, don't be mentioning my name, because that's the way those 2 guys were. They didn't care about recognition. They just wanted to help people, and they love people.
Well, it gave me chills when he was talking about Mr. Autry. Because the story he told was about going into Mitchell's Pharmacy and talking to him, getting advice from him, getting a milkshake and some food
at the counter.
Kids don't have this experience now.
No.
As a kid, one of the things that I looked forward to, and we didn't do it that often, but when my parents said we were going there and we were going to get a milkshake, that was really cool back then.
Wasn't that, Byron,
you got to sit up
word?
like a round bar stool, and you sit there and drank your milkshake and ate your BLT or whatever it was that you had for lunch.
Can I say it was a special thing?
It was.
It was special. Billy, when Billy, he's over here on the side right now. You knew both of those men, knew them very well. Hey, you used to go into that Mitchell's, right?
Yeah, and Andrews Drugs.
And Andrews, yes.
And Mitchell's. Yeah, the one downtown, the one over by the old Winn-Dixie.
Yeah.
Well, Sawyer Gas, and it had a dime store, and then you had over there, had one there by you had 3 of them, really. You had one over there by the Eagle Army Navy store,
Right.
at the very end. That was Andrews, I believe. Then
grief.
then they had one there right down there from across from the dime store, right there where the old Ford place was at one time,
Right.
on the corner right there. Then you come on up. The one I think Mitchell's was the one up there across where the old downtown is at now.
Right.
They had like
Right,
three.
right.
But I remember going eating them hamburgers. They fried them up. They had Willie. I think Willie worked at Andrews. Mr. Willie. He cooked them hamburgers.
Somebody
for
told
you.
me Roger Cruz worked there.
No, I don't think
Roger,
Roger.
that's a little bit before Roger Cruz.
But I remember going in there.
Roger told me he worked there, and I was like, no, that was before your time, Roger. You're not pulling that one on me, brother.
Yeah, no. Then you had. Then back in the day, we had a Brahma burger.
Yeah.
And it was you can get a big old Brahma burger, French fry, and a cold drink for like $2.25.
Somebody told me, too, the milkshakes out there were outstanding, too.
Oh goodness, yeah, that was real.
Yeah, it was real. Yeah, it was
real
real. It was
milkshake.
real
In those
milkshakes.
steel jars, in a steel container.
Oh, yes, and all that. Oh, man, yeah, goodness
Made
gracious.
with real milk, made with real sugar.
Wow.
Oh God.
So, we did have a good time there,
And knee highs. You can't forget the knee highs
Yeah,
because
and then putting your
yeah, knee highs and Barks root beer and Barks cream soda.
The main thing was back in the day, like everybody used to do it. My dad taught us was the kids get your cold drink, put your peanuts in it.
Yeah,
So Daddy
thinking
was
that.
when Daddy drove a semi. He couldn't have a peanut to do it in serious. Stack them inside there.
That's
And just,
it.
yeah. I used to put peanuts in my Miller High Lifes
yeah.
when I was growing up.
Yeah. Oh,
This is going off the rails, isn't it?
I can believe
Going
that.
up, yeah, you can believe that.
can
Okay,
believe that.
yeah, Miller ponies, them little Miller ponies. I dump a daggum bag of peanuts in them, man, and drink them down.
Okay, let's get back to reality now. I was going to say, now, he's talking about putting peanuts in beer. I was going to talk about root beer floats. So,
No, you wasn't.
Yes, I
Quit lying. Quit lying. Byron told me about the time that he got. Never mind. I won't say it on here. Mom's watching.
the closest I've ever come to putting peanuts in beer was salt around the rim of a beer can, and that's been a very long time ago.
Hey, man,
I
it
remember
tastes good.
whenever Dr. Giannis, when the girls would be
Coca-Cola.
sick, the girls, my children would be sick, and Dr. John's going there. Dr. John says, which one the insurance is paid up on? The deductible.
Right.
We say, Ashley. He says, we're seeing Ashley today, ain't we? He will see Sarah for us. And I called him one time. I was outside, and I called him up, and I said, Dr. Jones, I got a bug in my ear. I can't get it out. He goes, zzz, zzz. And I said, he said, put a water hose in it and wash it out. I said, this means you can call him at home, 'cause I had his number. And he said, he said, come on down here to the shop, to this office.
Sure.
I go down there, he gets a syringe and pulls it out. I said, what do I owe you, doctor? He said, you don't mean nothing. This nothing at all. This is the 9 o'clock night time.
Sure.
That's how
That's the way he was.
That's what Dr. John
And
was.
I'm going to read you something that
And
somebody
Mr. Bobby
said.
too, you know.
Well, I remember when I first
Right.
came here, I didn't have any insurance,
There we go.
anything like that, and I was just trying to get myself established in a job. And I was working for In-Home Medical, which Byron knows, and you know.
Yeah.
I was working over there for Larry Winningham, and I actually cut my hand. You know Larry.
Yes, I do.
So
Larry
I
used to
cut.
be my boss, too.
Yep, I cut my hand, and I took a couple of stitches, and I needed some antibiotics. And I went over to the pharmacy there, and Mr. Autry was working there, and he said, I said, well, sir, I ain't got no insurance, you know. I said, I'm just trying to get established and everything. Gave me the daggum stuff.
Yeah.
He said, here you go, don't worry about it. He said, you'll get yourself situated.
And Mr. Bobby was the type person, you know.
That's the way he was.
farmer-
And that was my only story with him besides just knowing him.
A pharmacist
man.
knew you personally, and if the doctor was wrong in prescribing, sometimes they are.
Yes.
Mr. Bobby would say, "Hey, this ain't right for you.
For-
let's double check this."
Let's double check it.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Bobby was,
That's
always
good.
that.
That's a good
You won't ever find a man.
David,
like-
did you know him?
know,
Yeah.
You knew him too.
Yeah,
You
like
knew
him.
Giannis too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, if you're around here of any kind of sort, you would know those two fine
And
gentlemen.
if you're around my age, you actually went to school with his
His daughters, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I
A
mean,
couple great guys. But back to the banquet. Mm-hmm. This is my first time going to the banquet.
Really?
After
Many
being
years.
around town for
Sure.
many years.
Sure.
That place was packed.
Oh, it was. Every year it is.
every year.
People everywhere. The back part food from one wall to the other wall.
Oh, yeah. By the way,
Pastry.
Chrissy did a great job, didn't she?
And if you really
Absolutely.
want to know what's going on in Bradford County, all you got to do is go there,
Yeah.
and there's the who's who. You
Yeah.
can talk to
Well,
them about.
And I gotta say,
Make connections. That's what those are about. Is making connections.
and
really.
I gotta say that
Who wannabes.
on a day-to-day basis, everybody's got their
Easy going.
average clothes and looks pretty normal. But that night displayed some beautiful women in Stark.
Absolutely, with their gowns and
Yeah.
the men were dressed up in their
Handsome
suits and
men
shirts and
and
ties.
tough
Absolutely,
clothes.
guys that me and Byron talked about this a little bit. Guys that you don't see and people that you don't see on an everyday basis. You know who they are. You may see them in passing. You actually get to spend 2 or 3 or 4 hours with them. They're right there, and you go like Byron said. It's about making contacts. It's
Yeah, talk
about
to 'em.
securing those contacts. Go talk to them. They came up to us. Say, hey man, it's been a while since I've seen you. Dadgum, man, whatever the case may be. And that was a really good event, and I think it turned your eye about it too, didn't it? A
The
little bit.
best part of the night is when Pam came up to me and you at the end of the night
Yeah.
and talked to us.
To us, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
With everything going on,
Yep.
she recognized us.
She did, and told us how good of a job we were doing, the
Yeah.
things that we were doing, and that makes you feel special. You know what I mean?
So
does.
we're going to join
we are, yep.
on the spot with David
Yep.
Rodgers, and my business, Harry Business, is
Yep.
going to be part of the chamber, and we'll be
Both of us will be
At the
right in
banquet
there
next
at the
year.
banquet next year. It really is a good event. We had a nice table of people. It was me, Byron, Dave Jr. Shelley was there. Autumn was there.
Jim Lewis.
Jim Lewis was there. Betty was there. Betty Ann was there.
And the simple answer to your question, Mom, is that people don't know how to dance like they used to know how to dance. That's the simple answer to that.
I didn't see the question.
There's people just don't dance like what you call dancing anymore. It's what you saw out on the floor towards the end of the night. That's the honest truth about it.
What was the question, brother?
Just don't know why people don't stay and dance anymore. We used to close
Oh,
it down.
well, I can tell you what else, too, Charlotte. We talked about this a little bit. Byron is exactly right. Let me add something to that.
Just don't.
Let me add something to that, brother. People have already got outside parties going on. Things that are already set up right after this banquet because everybody's dressed up, everybody's already out. So people's got other things going on. I know that there was a karaoke party going on. I know that there was another party going on where 20 or 30 people, 40 people went to these things. You take 30 or 40 people out of the ones that had already left. Now, as Byron said, you've drawn that crowd down. And what the dancing, as your mom is referring to, that is no more. It's what we seen, Shirley, when we sat there at the end of the night before Byron left, and that's what it's about. It's all
a bunch of booty dancing. That's
yeah,
what
that
that's
booty
what-
dancing, and that's
It's not
exactly
called that
right.
anymore, but that's what it is.
Yeah, it's look.
There's no civility in it. Let me put it to you that way, Mom.
Yeah, and we can leave it at that. So, and look, man, it's it is what it is. But hey, we had a good time. Everything was great, and that's what we did this weekend. I know that Donnie got sick. We were supposed to go and do a dinner thing. We didn't get a chance to do that, but hey, we'll catch up on that here shortly. Melissa Cribbs is watching. Donnie Thornton's watching. Billy Rayberg is going to tell the truth about what's going on in Bradford County. Hey, Billy has already told the truth. No, this is something a little different. That's going to,
I love you, brother.
What's wrong with David?
Oh goodness, sorry, brother. Off the rails.
So anyway, Dana Whitaker Hearst is watching. Dr. Pete and Bobby were two of the largest contributors to Bradford County and are missed, but their legacies will live on. Scott Munnings, thank you for watching, brother. We're going to get together soon. Jimmy Bowers, who I work with, is watching. Good evening, brother. D.A. Dennis Cruz, Still do. Absolutely. Tom Bailey's watching. Kyle Fishburne's watching. Hey, Kyle, it's been a while since I've talked to you. Hey, you are in Tennessee. Hey, I hope the weather's good up there for you, Jimmy. Hope you and your family are enjoying your vacation. Byron answered the dancing thing already. Will Smith is on. Mitchell Gunner is on. Dwight Allen said, drop it like it's hot. And Shannon Smith is watching, and Eric Jackson's watching. Welcome into the show. My name is David Rodgers, right along with Byron Bagwell, right along with Dave Highland, right along with Billy Rayberg. We are the DOR, the Defenders of the Republic, and also known as the New High Priest of the Church of the Painful Truth. Thank you, Neil Bortz, for that. All right, we got a lot of things to get to. We're going to get started with Billy Rayberg here in just a couple of minutes, but I want to give the weather and just a couple of things that are going on. I told Richard Stockram I would read this. Strawberry Festival Car Show presented by Florida Misfits Association and Mopar Muscle of North Florida. All makes and models welcome for this two-day event. Date is February 24th and 25th. Time is 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Location, Suwannee County Fairgrounds, 1302 11th Street, Southwest, Live Oak 32064. Registration will end February the 3rd, 2024. That's pre-registration. And the pre-registration fee for both days is $35. Day of the show fee for both days is $40. So participants' choice is Saturday the 24th, and judge show is on Sunday the 25th. So we got, my goodness, it's hard to read sometimes off the phone. Admission to the festival is included with car entries for the displaying person and one family member, spouse, child, etc. Trophies each day. You're going to get a Strawberry Bucks certificate, spendable anywhere in the festival, of $50 for first place and $25 for second place. So make sure you get out there. Check with Richard Stockram. You can catch him on Facebook Messenger, and he will also be chiming in and talking about this event as it gets closer. So make sure that you attend that. Okay, they're trying to do a best of show trophy, and any other best ofs are $75 per trophy with your name, business name as sponsors of each trophy. If you want, 2nd through 20th is $30 each. So he who wants to sponsor a trophy or two, he's looking for trophy sponsors. So make sure you get a hold of him if you own a business, and you can also, like I said, get a hold of him, and he can fill you in
Hey, David,
with
what's
other
his name
information.
again?
Richard Stockram.
Richard Stockram. How do we get a hold of Mr. Stockram? Do you know?
Mr. Stockram has got a phone number, but you can reach him on Messenger for sure, and you can reach him on his Facebook page. So he didn't put his contact Richard for more. Okay, here we go. 352. I did find that. 457-3307. That's 352-457-3307. Or email Florida Misfits Association at gmail.com. Florida Misfit Association at gmail.com. All right, that's just one of the events that's going on. We've got the fair that'll be coming up here soon. We'll get you some more dates on that. We've got our own Strawberry Festival coming up as well here within the next month. So a lot of good things going on in Bradford County, and things that you can enjoy. So y'all make sure y'all come out to all these events here. All right, David, I've got the weather coming up, and then we're going to get on to Billy Rayberg. Not a lot of local news at this time, but we'll make sure that we get you some of that next week as we continue our shows on Tuesday nights. So, David, if you want to bring up the graphic.
Brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights.
All right.
Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a
Here we
detailed
go.
local forecast sent right to you.
Forecast for Bradford County, Florida, surrounding areas tonight. Clear. Lows in the upper 30s. North winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Wednesday, sunny. Highs in the upper 50s. Northwest winds around 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, clear. In the evening, then becoming partly cloudy. Lows in the upper 30s. Northeast winds around 5 miles an hour or so. Thursday, mostly sunny. Not as cool with highs around 70. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly cloudy. Lows in the upper 40s. Friday, mostly sunny. Highs in the mid-70s. Friday night and Saturday night, mostly cloudy. Lows in the lower 50s. Highs in the mid-70s. For Saturday night, mostly cloudy. Lows in the upper 50s as the week continues. For the U.S. Southeast region, look out. Weather will be gorgeous Wednesday for the majority of the Southeast U.S. However, another storm system will be moving through the region at the end of the week through the weekend, bringing more rain to the southern U.S. The extent of severe weather is not greatly known right now, but you can check this out on Austin's Weather Service. You can contact Austin Stevens, and he will give you an update on that weather. And just keep up with him. He is for sure on top of that. So, again, welcome in to On the Spot with David Rodgers as we move on with our program. As you know, last week we talked about Israel and some of the things that were going on there. And I want to continue that subject a little bit, but I'm interested in what Byron's subject's going to be. And then we've got Billy Rayberg coming up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to bring Billy Rayberg in, and we're going to tell you what our surprise is. It's 7:36 Eastern Time. We'll be back after these timeouts. Welcome back to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, right along Byron Bagwell, right along with the dancing destroyer himself, Super Dave Holland. Let's bring in Mr. Billy Rayberg. I'm going to slide over to my right here. Byron's going to slide into the middle here. Billy Rayberg, welcome in. You've people's heard your voice already, so come on in there so you don't look like you're in a shadow there. You want to slide? I can slide over a little bit more here. Dave, are we good right there?
You're good.
Okay. So we're going to bring Billy in. Billy, welcome into the show, brother. I know you listen all the time. You are follow us quite a bit. You've been on the show a time or two, so you know how this thing works. So welcome in. Tell everybody before we get started what we're going to say. What's been going on with you here lately as far as Billy Rayberg's concerned?
Nothing much. I retired from Jackson's down there, and I had September. Middle of September, I said time for me to do something else. I had 40 years down there. Started when I was 17 in 1984, January. Had right at 40 years. I missed a lot of people. I missed the people that I helped out, and I missed the people I worked with. But I knew it was the time for me to go, and I'm just kind of just taking it easy right now, enjoying life. When you get older, I think sometimes you gotta live by faith and not by sight. Yeah. And I just got my stuff situated there, got my stuff paid off, and it paid off for me to be able to make a change. I still go down there and see them, and maybe one day, that later on, whenever I get a little bit older, I want to go down there and just work a day or two off or something like that. Eric is more willing to want me to come down, but we had a good time. I missed the people at first. I didn't know what to do.
Right.
I was I was off so much, and I would just go outside and try to find something to do, look around, and but I had a good time down there. If you need anything, go down and see Eric Nogel, all them down at Matt down at Jackson Building Supply. They're still on in town, and I was telling them that Eric Nogel's slogan is only man in town who can give you the wood with a smile.
Yeah.
That's
That's
Eric's slogan down there. But no, we had a good time. But the thing is, this is what we're coming up with. I went to David. I was sitting one day and started thinking. I don't know if you went to the state championship game. We showed up more than anybody else in that stadium.
3,500 plus, Billy, is what we got.
Unbelievable, wasn't it, David?
Really, really good. And not only that, excuse me. We had a good time. I called up to the FAMU. I think it was that FAMU one.
Yep.
I called up there and told them, I said, I ain't never had so much fun in a ball game. Even though we lost.
Right.
My God, we had a good time. It was fun. And I just, I've always been a big football. I played for Coach Hurst 4 years down there. Coach Sexton, me and Donnie Thornton, a lot of us, went down there and played and for Coach Hurst and we had a good time, and my wife's a teacher, and I still be around a lot of the kids a lot of times still. And I love high school football. I think that's the best form you're going to have in high school football is the best in athletics. And it got so bad like college and professional, which I don't even watch professional no more. But I was sitting there. I said, what can I do or can we do to help out this program? I said, we need a punter, we need a kicker, and we need a kickoff kicker. And I called Will up. First, I did it properly. I said, Will, what would it be all right for us to have a open day of tryouts for kickers, a punter, and a field goal? So a lot of these kids today, they might be homeschooled or they're on the internet, but they're still legally, they can come down there and play for Bradford County. And all their job would be was kicking the ball, and it could be boy or girl. It could be a soccer player from Keystone that ain't getting a lot of soccer playing time that can kick the ball, or from Lake Butler, or a homeschool kid. Or it could be, and we wanted what it is. Then I called Coach Rodgers. I said, Coach Rodgers, I'm running this by you real quick. So what you think? Would you mind if me and David and like Brian Padgett even said Mr. Heater here, to go and see if we can find us a kicker, a punter, and a kickoff man? It could be a boy or a girl. It don't really matter. And have tryouts from like 8:30 on a Saturday to 12:30. Have both field goals teams going down there, kicking both times, kicking at both ends. And I know that the one college did it. And they found one of the best kickers. Remember he had the one college coach had it and went out and said, hey, if anybody wants to come kick, would you mind trying out? And this one kid tried out, and he started kicking the ball for the college.
Right.
And done a great job. And I called David up. I said, David, what do you think? Man said, man, that's not a good idea. And I said, well, I says, and I think that what we would do is it'd be sometime in March before spring practice. Talk to Will about it. Will said yeah, and I talked to Coach Rodgers about it. Because there's a lot, and there'd be nothing kicking only. You wouldn't be responsible for hitting in the pads and your job. I remember John David Francis. He's passed down on, but John David was our kicker back in school. John David would sit down and kick all day long. Well, practice, kick. Yes, all his responsibility was kicking. And we'll have a tryouts out there if we get 35 to 40 kids from 9th grade up to 12th grade, boy or girl, it don't matter. And we're going to have a lot of, the tryouts from 8:30 to 12:30. We're going to put the signs up in the school on Facebook, and we're going to have it where, because you never know, there's somebody out there, I know it's got to be, that can kick the ball down to the end zone as a young kid, or punt the ball. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad what we had. If they want to come and try out, anybody on the team wants to come out and try out, they can. Because sometimes the coach don't have time to sit and let the whole team try out to be a kicker. And we will. Me and David and us be there. We're gonna give out everybody that signs up will get something for signing up.
Right.
And the winner is we're gonna have 4 people at the very end. We're gonna pick from the 4 people. It could be a punter, a kicker, a kickoff team, and if you want to bring your own holder with you and say, hey, this person here can hold well for me. They want to be on the team too. That's fine, as long as your grades or can be it. On it is able to keep a grade average. You're homeschooled. A lot of homeschool kids don't get a chance. Or if you're in Keystone Heights and you do soccer, and you're not playing as much, you want to enroll in Bradford County. I think this could be a good deal. I think it's going to bring out kids to say, you know what? I ain't much of an athlete, but I can punt the ball. So, that's when I called David, and David said, man, that sounds a pretty good idea, Billy. So I really believe that I want to do everything, because for yourself, a punter, a kicker, and a field goal can make or break a team. You put a good punter can put them way back. A good field goal man can win a ball game for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think what Billy's trying to say, and he hit all of it right on the head, is that, if you look at the last few years of Bradford Tornado football, I know Byron's only been doing it with me a couple of years, but he's always listened, he's always followed. And when me and Kevin was doing it, we always said, Where's our kicker? Who's going to be our kicker? Who's
Right.
going to
Right.
Who's going to try to make the game-winning field, like you said, or the extra points that are always needed in ball games?
And the punt, to put them on back in the back.
Right, and we have been gracious at times to have those kids, type of kids. But then there's times, man, where you go, my goodness, where are the, where who's going to do this? And it's usually some skill player, defensive back, some kind of safety, some skill player that can do it all. But if you're always kicking the ball and you perfect yourself, all you're going to do is get better, better, and better. And I think what Billy said is we're going to have this tryout. We don't know just yet. Sometime in March, right, Billy, is what we said
Yes,
so
sir.
far.
Yes,
Sometime in March. Byron, myself,
Paget.
and Brian Paget. Us four will be out there. We'll be heading up this whole thing. We're going to call it the punt, the kick, the punt and kick tryouts for the Bradford County Tornadoes. And what we're going to do is, like Billy said, we're going to take the top 3, right, Billy? We're going to take the top 3. Whether you can do it all or if it's individually, we're going to send you to spring training, and then Coach Rodgers and his staff will evaluate who, or if they're going to keep all of you or whatever, but they'll evaluate you after spring training. The only thing that we ask about this is, like Billy said, that you need to be from 9th grade to 12th grade or going into the 12th grade. You can be homeschooled, like he said. You may be at another school and you hear about this after we put it out and you want to come try out. That's fine. Of course, you got to do the transfer and all that to Bradford County to be able to do that. So you got to make sure that everything's squared up when you come to do this. But anyway, for now, we're just seeing, what raw talent's out there, Billy. And like you said, colleges has done it. I think an NFL team done it one time back a little bit ago. So we're just trying to find a diamond in the rough.
Also, I want to say, this is for girls too.
It's a great idea.
And there's a lot of good girl that does the soccer. That I don't care. I love to be the first one. The first high school say we got a field goal kicker that's a girl, or whatever kickoff. There's got to be. I mean, back in the day, there's got to be a way to kick this ball into the end zone. Y'all, there is kids out there that we could get. I don't care if it's 9th through 12th. That they can kick it to the ball to the end zone. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. We had a good kicker.
We sure
we did. But as long as, and your responsibility will be kick only. You're not going to go out there and run around with them and let them hit you and all that. And the girl, she can be just come on down and give us a chance. If you want to be a part of a program that we probably are going back to state. Now the way the FSHA read it up again, we can put them line up playing Coco again.
Could be. A lot of people are saying it.
They had over 16 kids out of their district that could play for them. Right. And I call him Dart Man, that quarterback they had. If they wouldn't have had that Dart Man and the way he I guarantee he'd done about throws, and throws. They wouldn't have beat us. Mm-hmm. Now, I watched it on YouTube, y'all, and Bradford County, we hung in there.
Yeah, we did.
We hung in there. And I believe Coach Rodgers is one of the best coaches. And one thing about Coach Rodgers is that when I talked to him about it, he was all for it. He said, Billy, whatever it takes to get it done, let's do it. And Coach Rodgers, and some coaches are kind of like, this is my baby and you don't mess with that. He's not that way. He's very open to, and I told Will, I asked Will, I know Will, I was around Will when Will was a baby, and his daddy had him on the field with us. And I know Will since he was a youngin'. But I know there's somebody, and if please spread it to your nieces, your nephews, Lake Butler, Keystone, McClenny. Come out and try it. It won't cost you a dime to come out and try. You're going to get a prize. We're going to feed you pizza there that day, cold drinks, pizza. We're going to have also, and I hope we can do it, how about this? We're going to have the press box with your name up on there saying, coming to kick. This person here playing the music on the Jumbotron.
Okay.
Pump it up.
Okay.
I'm talking, we'll have a pump up with a Jumbotron with their name up there showing you kicking on the Jumbotron. And what I'm saying, I know everybody say, Billy, you two get too hyped up about Bradford County football.
No, not necessarily.
But I believe scarlet and gray. It ain't black and white. It ain't red and black. It's scarlet and gray.
Right.
I remember Coach Church, he was really particular about that, scarlet and gray. It ain't black and red, it's scarlet and gray. We bleed scarlet and gray. Yeah. And I reckon, I don't know. I just love high school football, and I don't hunt and fish and all that kind of stuff. I go to high school football games, but I believe that we got one of the best coaches in the state of Florida right now, Coach David Rodgers, and one of the best superintendents right now, Will Hartley. I think Will Hartley has done a lot for this community. His parents has put their time in here, and I'm glad to see they get to see their fruits. And Mrs. Pervat, she was sold tickets and down at the high school for 40 years. And she, now her grandson is superintendent of school. And I think I'm a true believer keeping it homegrown. And I would love to see some young girl, some quiet young man that never had played sports in his life and come out there and boom that ball. And all you got to do, you ain't got to worry about going and hitting and none of that. That's not going to be your job. Mm-hmm. Your job is going to be kick the ball, punt the ball, and whatever it takes, and we're going to back it up. And Coach Rodgers is going to have, if it's a girl, we'll make sure you got facility to dress in or dress out properly.
Right.
But I think y'all, if y'all just help me out, pass it around, we're going to put it in high school, sign up, and have people there, the fans there. Bring your parents and bring the kids and bring whatever. And it's all going to be, we'll have pizza there, sponsorships and pizza. I'm going to get sponsorship for the winner and the four that makes it. We'll have sponsors, and they'll have some good prizes.
And Billy said, we're just trying to make it a fun event. Come out there, have some fun with us. Like I said, we're just trying to find a diamond in the rough. Who knows? You may be watching this show and you say, hey, my girl can kick a football. Well, come on out. As soon as we solidify that date, we'll be putting it all out over Facebook. I'm going to have Chuck Kramer mention it on WAG Eagle Country 106.3. We'll be mentioning it on our show. Billy will come back on right when we get ready to do this. So, yeah. Hey, people to Bluetooth to their TV. Yes, we had somebody just say that. Said it looks good on television. Yeah. So, good.
And also, we want to say one thing, too. This is serious.
Yes.
Don't come out there and want to jackleg us and just have fun. Don't get me wrong, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I want somebody there that's going to make a difference. Because I'm telling you, y'all, I believe, I'm serious. I believe we're just one step away from state championship.
Yeah, winning one. Yeah.
Because the season's going to be about the same kind of season for us. And y'all, we blowed everybody up. Don't get me wrong. Whenever I played high school football, I played linebacker and guard. Me and Donnie Thorne, we all it's Craig Falstro. I can name a bunch of them. Robert Carver, Eric Lane, and just a lot of boys that I played with. That we're all good ball players, okay? But we were high school ball players. These boys that are coming up are just as good as the boys that are leaving us now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. They're good ball players that are going to college, okay?
Yeah.
That's leaving here. But the Wainwright boy, I know for a fact, is a ace, good linebacker.
No doubt.
He reminded me of myself so much. I told him one day, I said, son, see them socks you wearing? Push them down. Why is that, Mr. Billy? I said, because if Coach Herbert ever see you with socks pulled up, he said, we ain't here to showboat, son. Your thighs get hot, you get hot. Push them socks all the way down where your thighs can stay cool.
Yep.
And I told him, and also get your shirt and cut that T-shirt under your breast right there where your belly can stay cool. And there's a lot, and I see that boy play, and I see myself. He's about the same size I was. And we got a lot of boys. Just not him, but we got a good quarterback. We got a quarterback, I think, come from Lake City.
Yep.
So
and he's getting better. He's been going on 7-on-7 tournaments, and he can throw the ball on a rope. Tyler Berry, who plays our corner, and he's probably going to play some receiver. He said he was out there throwing with him yesterday, and throwing and catching. And he said that boy he's got a gun. He can rifle it. Probably stronger arm than Shanks for sure.
Actually, I believe,
and Jeremiah McKenzie both.
I honestly believe that we are one step away from a state championship. And if anybody that deserves it in this county, because we have showed up and showed out. And it was so neato. I got to one of the first one there in Tallahassee last year. I kept looking and said, my God, when are they going to quit coming in? Mm-hmm. We piled in there like dirty laundry. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it was so great to see a community come together. I remember back when we went to the championship down there in Bartow. The county city was empty. And everybody was so close together. And we're going to get a lot of businesses more involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And Coach Jamie, he's a type coach that you can talk to.
Yep.
And he takes, and I know, I tell him, say, Coach Jamie, I know I'm full of crap most of the time. I like to bull around, but this time I'm serious about this.
Right.
I said, I really do believe we're going to find a diamond in the rough. And can you imagine that this worst person, you could be the one that kicked the field goal that wins the state championship for us. Just think.
Could be.
And when you get to try it, you're going to see your name on the Jumbotron. That's enough to come try out right there.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, you were talking about, we talked before the show, and we was talking about this as well. We were talking about, this could lead to some other things. As soon as they see that this community's doing it, other communities are going to do it too.
Yeah.
No matter where it's at, they're going to hear about this, and especially if it's successful, as I think it will be.
It will be.
That more people are going to try it. So we'll be able to get the first on that as well. But like Billy said, we're going to pick a date. We're going to put it all over Facebook, anything that we can put it on, any social media outlet. We're going to, like I said, have WAG Eagle Country 106.3 announce it. The school's going to
put some
announce it. We're going to put some banners up.
Everything.
Things like that. So
Hey, brother, I got an idea. Mm-hmm. Why don't we broadcast it?
Yeah.
that's an idea too. If Dave's available, yeah, we can broadcast it. That's not a bad idea. So on the spot, we'll probably be out there as well. So,
but I believe it's a good opportunity for us, some kid that is shy, or some parent said, I don't want my kid playing because it's too, a rough sport.
Right.
But he's just going to kick. And this young girl, and I have 3 daughters. I got 3 granddaughters, and I got 5 grandboys. My oldest granddaughter, she's 16, Addison Hines, and she plays fast pitch softball for Bradford. She was like #1 hitter, home run hitter in 9th grade for the varsity, and she's a baller now. I got to give it to her.
I bet she can come out there and kick the ball.
Well, that's true. I forgot about that.
How about that, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, we may have a diamond in the rough right there. She's an athlete.
The other day, I tell you this, I'll let you. We'll get on something else. Y'all can. She's pretty tough.
She is tough.
About a month. She's like her mama. About a month and a half ago, we went wrestling in the living room, and she put me down, and she said, "Papa, I don't have to hurt you now, okay? You're going to have to stay down there."
You're going to have to stay down there.
Let's see, you don't have to hit nobody, but that tells me somebody that's in that position like that is going to hit somebody.
Right, but she is a baller. She is strong as anything. So, and I'll give a shout out to Blankenship.
Yes.
She won her division.
And so she's going to the state in 2 weeks, right? She'll be going to state.
We're talking about weightlifting, right?
Yes.
Weightlifting.
Not only that, now guess what? The ROTC, you see that?
Yeah, I've seen that too.
I'm telling you.
A lot of things going great as Billy is trying to in Bradford County.
Better, like Gordon says all the time, it's better in Bradford.
Yeah, it's better in Bradford, and that's
so.
exactly.
And me and Gordon go way back, and we all this thing together. And as long as we prosper, and as long as whoever gets the credit for it, I don't care. But I would love to see Coach Jamie. He put his heart in this place. For him to come over from Baker County to be our coach and get ragged over in Baker County. We have a salesman at Jackson's. He used to come over there. He sold us stuff. He said, "Man, we messed up when y'all got Jamie. We messed up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got Jamie." Because they didn't keep him. And man, we had a diamond in the rough right there. We still got him.
We still got him, man.
You know what I'm saying?
You're exactly right.
Well, David, I appreciate you letting me come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
stay tuned.
It's good seeing you, Billy.
Stay tuned for this information. Punt and kick we'll just call it a tryout. I don't want to call it a competition.
Yeah, tryout.
I want to call it a tryout. Come out and have some fun with us. We'll, like Byron said, maybe on the spot with David Rodgers. Who knows? We're going to be busy as well, so we'll take it. We'll take a check on that and see how busy we are. But sometime in March, me and Billy and Byron and Brian Padgett are going to pick a date. And that'll be on a Saturday morning, like Billy said, from 8 to 12, 8:30 to 12, something like that. You'll have fun with us. And hopefully, like you said, we may find a diamond in the rough. And I assure you that there's going to be some people, some kids out there that can kick.
Let me say one thing real quick, too. And it could be a ball player already on the team.
Absolutely.
That might be a second-string linebacker
right.
that wants to try out because Coach don't have time to sit there and let everybody
exactly.
say, I want to do it, Coach. I want to do it, Coach. And let him do it. I mean, you don't never know what's out there until we try. Y'all, I thank you for your time. And go Bradford Tornadoes.
And
We'll be in touch.
It ain't nothing like a tornado, brother.
That's it.
know
There
what I'm
you
saying?
go.
So, and y'all have a great night, and I thank y'all very much.
All right, that was Billy Rayburn.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida and David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
Welcome back to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, right along with Byron Bagwell, right along with Mr. Dave Holland. We just had Billy Rayburn in talking about our little special treat that we had for you. We're going to have a punt and kick tryout for the Bradford Tornadoes. If you want to play for a winning team, that team has been 27-3 over the last 2 years, only 2 losses. With 3 losses, 2 was to the same team. The Cocoa Tigers got us in the state semifinal the year before and the state championship this year. And then Live Oak got us 10-7 over their place 2 years ago. We revenged that loss as well. So we're ready to move on. I've been watching this, David, from afar. We do need some special team players, and I'm with Billy. I don't think there's a lot of time for those coaches to really sit there and go, hey, can you kick, can you kick? They're trying to prepare an offense. They're trying to prepare a defense. They are working on special teams, but just the necessary things that needs to happen in a game. The kickoff, the punt return team, the kickoff return team, the punt return team, those things like that. So to individualize a person is really, really hard to do because the coaches are busy. So we're going to try to take that pressure off of them and see if we can find somebody that can boot the football. Maybe we'll find a person that can do all 3. Maybe we'll find 3 different people that do 3 different things. Maybe we have a field goal kicker, we have a punter, we have a kickoff person. You never know. So make sure that you come out when we put that date out. Anybody that's 9th through 12th grade that's affiliated with Bradford High School, and even if you're not and you think you may want to come here, come and try out. The only thing that we ask is once we pick you, that you have to go through spring training. Let the coaches see you. Let the coaches evaluate you. Let the coaches do what they are paid to do and need to do. And then after that, then you're off the hook. That's the only thing that we ask. It's 8:02 here in beautiful Bradford County in Stark, Florida. My name is David Rodgers, right along Byron Bagwell, right along with Dave Holland. We're getting ready to move on to the next segment right here. Byron's got something that he want to talk about. He's sort of keeping it a little bit of a secret there. So we'll let him get involved in just a minute as soon as I read off a few of the comments. No, I was not twerking. Byron says, I'm trying to keep me in trouble tonight. Mike Tierney, good to see you. Dwight, Billy the man, the myth, the legend. Sound was low for Billy, but we think we got that cleared up. Mike Leach at Texas Tech. Absolutely, Tom Bailey. Yeah, you're exactly right. Rob Barrick is watching. Rodrigo Blankenship was a walk-on kicker at Georgia and wound up scoring 195 points. Yep, and an NFL career. Terry Wilkerson Anderson, thank you for watching. Sarah Rayburn Chamberlain, that's my daddy. Yes, I'm sure it was. Good evening, Rob. I'm glad to see you on. Put Billy in the kick. Well, if he's got eligibility, we will. Dwight Allen, good evening, brother. Jimmy Sparks is watching. Robert McGee's watching. Tracy Key O'Neill's watching. Shirley Bagwell, they don't have to plan parties for that night. They know in advance when the chamber banquet is. And absolutely right. Liz Hillary Hollers is watching. Michael Rourke's daughter was a high school kicker in Jacks, I think, at Bowles. I think you may be right. Dad, Mom said you need to smile a little more. She also said you look very handsome. Hey, well, he's not here to tell him because he's already left. He's coming home for supper. Billy is in serious mode, yes. Cannot try out for kicker. Robert McGee, if you have eligibility, you sure can. Yes, sir. He doesn't play about Bradford football. No, we all don't. That's for sure. You may be too old, Dwight says. I would try out, but I would probably break a hip, Rob Barrick said. Yeah. Addison Hines. Hey, Pappy. Hey, you may wind up being a kicker, Addison, so you better be ready. Vicky Newton's watching. Tom Bailey said, need to support the basketball program. Yeah, I know. A couple of, I'll get into that next week a little bit more on where they all sit and what's going to be next for them. Randy Brooks is watching. Dwight Allen says, sounds like a good thing. Go vote for her. I'm not sure who that is. Jamie Rogers came from Cook County, Georgia. Yep, to Bradford, but he was here before at Baker and at Live Oak. Arlene Morehouse is watching, and now Dwight Allen always says, "Go Big Red." It is 8:05 Eastern Time. Here he is. I'm going to turn it over to Byron Bagwell as he's got a subject to talk about. And if we have a little time, we'll talk about Israel. If not, we'll table it up.
This is not going to take very long, David. Okay. Question for everybody here, including you, David, and you, Dave. Is Donald Trump guilty of what the Democrats are charging him with? Dave? David? And it couldn't please me more to have this silence go on for a minute or two.
Repeat the question, how you said it.
Okay, is Donald Trump guilty of what the Democrats are charging him with and what the justice system is charging him with?
No.
Dave?
You use the word everything, so I'm gonna say no.
Oh, I have no comment.
Okay.
I don't know for sure one way or the other how
Well,
it's going to turn out.
Partly in what David's saying, David is right, because they've already proven that he's not guilty of everything that they charge him with, and he's right. I used the wrong semantics with that. But the point is in this is none of us know. The Donald Trump supporters don't know. The only people that know are the people that are providing the evidence and that jury that's giving us this. I have watched and heard politicians getting on the air saying Donald Trump is guilty of what is going on. That is what a tyrant would say, not a civil servant. You don't dictate what a jury of your peers thinks to the open public because it can influence trials. That is one of the founding things from this country. Let's find it all. A trial by jury. A king, a queen, a duke, anybody else does not get to decide that. Your peers get to decide that. And what they're doing is they're influencing this through the court of public opinion. And it's not right. We are founded on the fact that you are innocent until you are proven guilty. Not somebody saying you're innocent, not somebody saying you're guilty. It's till you're proven. And what David was saying was right, because some of it's already been proven nonsense. So the next time you turn TV on and you see a politician saying he's guilty, think about it like this. Part of the reason that we rebelled against the English crown was because of things like kings and queens saying, this person is guilty. Think about that. Think about the freedom that we have to be tried by a jury of our peers, hearing the evidence before we are said, you are guilty. And the fact that these people will stand up there and say things like he's guilty, because that's something a tyrant would do. That's about all I wanted to say about that, David.
You read some of the comments there. That came up.
What have we got?
Starting with Dwight Allen said, which charges, I think, or maybe before that.
Any of them, Dwight. The point is we don't know, and they don't know either until he's done. Now everybody can have their opinion, and I don't believe he's guilty of any of it. But I don't have a microphone where I'm standing up there saying he's guilty or he's innocent one way or the other, because we don't know. I can tell you that the charges are trumped up in my opinion, but that's my opinion. These people stand up there with a microphone and power and saying somebody's guilty before he's even been tried. That's not the American way. That's something we fought a Revolutionary War to stop. And now half of our population believes that's an okay thing to do. And it makes me crazy. Thank you, Dad, by the way, for putting that fire under me tonight. Nope. And Biden talks to dead people. Democrats always blame everyone else. That's the truth. Amen, brother. Biden should go on trial for not upholding law on immigration, but it won't ever happen. It's a violation of his oath of office. So is standing up in public declaring somebody's guilt before they're even tried. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess, and it's a circus. There's no governance in this. It's all he said, she said, one side against the other. The whole thing needs to be flushed completely, and we need to start all over again with the same system that we have now, only putting safeguards in to stop things like what's going on right now from either one of the parties. I am so sick of both sides, to tell you the honest truth right now.
Biden should go on Trump. Okay, yep. And Biden admits his crimes on video, Dwight Allen says. You got any comment to that one?
Yeah. Yeah, Dwight, he did. You're absolutely right. He absolutely stood up there and said that he basically used political leverage, and I'm going to use it in that term so we don't get shoved off YouTube. He used political leverage to get a prosecutor fired in Ukraine who was investigating his son. Yes, he did. There's video out there of that. And why our government sat back and did nothing about it, and our court system sat back and did nothing about it, says a lot about the state of our republic.
Yeah, so there you go right there. And that was a good subject that Byron just brought up. And I see where Donnie got him fired up about it, and I don't blame him. And look, it is what it is with this thing right now. It seems like every place that Donald Trump turns, seems like somebody's trying to stab him in the back 42 times. When he beats this charge in this state, here comes another one, and here comes another one. And they are just trying to railroad this man for not running for office. But to me, I don't know what y'all think. I think they're just fueling the fire. I think they're just stoking the fire when they keep doing these things, because all it's doing, you think you're knocking him down a peg, but what you're doing is you're elevating him too. My personal opinion.
David, your opinion's spot on. That's exactly what's happening. The problem is are they going to find the right jury, and are they going to find the right prosecutor to where they hate Donald Trump so much that it doesn't matter what the law says or what the evidence says, and they can convict him and they stop him from running. And then you have another problem. What happens in this country when you have a man that is loved as much as Donald Trump is, and I know he's hated by another section of the populace, but he's loved as much as he is, and you have things like politicians saying he's guilty before he's even tried, the media outlets saying he's guilty before he's even tried. Well, that other half of the populace is going to sit back and go, he wasn't guilty at all. This was rigged. And if they can do this to Donald Trump, they can do it to me, they can do it to Dave, they can do it to David, they can do it to any of us. And then what is the response? We live in a dictatorship. And some of us aren't going to live like that. It's very, very, very dangerous thing you do when you start monkeying with the justice system and making it political. The justice system is designed to where it's supposed to take politics completely out, and you're judged by a jury of your peers on the evidence that is provided. There's not supposed to be an outside influence in that. But yet this man is being tried in the court of public opinion. And I know people have said that, and everybody's like, oh, well, this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter. That's your opinion, just like mine is that this is all trumped up. That needs to be proven in a court of law, and I don't need to have a say in it unless I'm a juror. And you don't need to have it in say in it unless you're a juror. We can sit here and talk about it all night long and explain to you why it doesn't make sense and it's trumped up. But as far as an impactful opinion on that, there should be no impactful opinion on that except the jurors and the judges and the prosecutor and the defense attorneys. None. Because when that starts happening, what you have is not a justice system, not like we have not like we're supposed to have. And that is a dangerous thing.
8:15 local time. I'm David Rodgers, Byron Bagwell, Dave Holland. We're here on the spot with David Rodgers. Glad you can join us this Tuesday evening. About an hour and 15 minutes show. I'm going to go ahead and close it down here in just a couple of minutes. We're going to get into this more next week, but I do want to I want to talk about a couple other things as well. We started talking about Israel last week, and I sort of gave you an overview, a little history of this piece of land, if you want to call it. That's what it is now, which is now a country that is surrounded by all these larger countries, but nobody seems to want to mess with them. And we talked a little bit about that. We talked about a little bit about the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Again, I'll just fill you in just a little bit on the Gaza Strip. The Gaza Strip is 6 miles wide, 25 miles long, runs to the border of Egypt, and it runs almost up into Jerusalem, about 25 miles away from Jerusalem. And then you've got the West Bank over here, which is also inhabited, or most of the populace there is Palestinians. So we definitely know that the Gaza Strip is run by Hamas right now. That's where all this happened, starting with October 7th. And we got into how many people live there. 2.3 million people live in a 6 by 25 square mile radius. And then also, we know that the West Bank, which includes Bethlehem, by the way, Jerusalem is on the inside of that, but Bethlehem is included. I've been to both places, both very nice. Great tour if you ever want to go there. This thing is escalating into a lot more than just the fight within Israel. If y'all been watching the news and watching anything lately, Iran's wanting to jump in it, Iraq's wanting to jump in it, Syria's wanting to jump in it, everybody's wanting to jump in it now. And of course, the United States is Israel's main ally, as they are with us, and we're coming to do our thing. And so I want to get into that a little bit more next week. As I want me and Byron to break this down some more. I had some notes and some things that I had written down, but I left them at the house. So we'll get into the more of this next week, and we'll bust this down some more for you guys and tell you exactly what's going on there.
I want everybody to think about something, and I hope I don't step on your toes with one of your questions. This is not one of your questions. I want everybody to think about this. You are a populace of people that you belong. There's a populace of people that you belong to that have no place on earth left except that piece of land that's up there, and you're surrounded by a bunch of people who want to kill you or drive you off your land. How are you going to react to that? Because literally, America would accept the Jewish people to come into America, but it wouldn't be their land. It would not be a Jewish state. That's what Israel is a Jewish state. And these people literally want them off the land. They want to kill them. One of the two. How would you feel? What would you do to defend your home and your country? And that's the main question that everybody forgets. Oh, the Jewish people do this, the Jewish people do that. They're defending their own.
When you start talking about this, you're talking about this has been going on for many years. I see what you said there, Tom Bailey. Yeah, you're exactly right. And that was part of my notes that Israel became a nation on May 20th, 1948. I do understand that. But this right here has been going on since BC. Do you know what BC stands for? Before Christ. This has been going on for the longest time. All you're doing is getting it into a modern state right now. This piece of land, all these pieces of land have been in fighting for many, many years. And I know religion comes in sometimes when you talk about this, and that's why I have my notes written. And when it comes to religion, I don't want to step on anybody's toes with it. I want to say it right, as Byron wants to say it right as well. And when you talk about this, Byron, you can't help but bring religion into this, because really, this is what started this whole thing right here.
Now, David, technically, you and Tom are right. 1948 was when Israel was founded.
Right.
But in all reality, Israel was founded when Moses freed the Israelites from the pharaohs in Egypt, and they spent all of that time getting to the promised land, and they got to the promised land, and then they took over what God promised them and made their own country is when it originally founded. So Israel's been around for thousands of years. How do you separate? I mean, you go back and look and say, well, the Bible doesn't. You know, it's some of it's made up, it's hyperbole, and whatever else you want to say about it. It still happened. The Israeli people come, and they took Israel from the people, from the groups of people that were there. Who are the groups of people that were there? Now, you can go back and look in the Bible. It was promised to them by God, according to them, and that's how can you not bring religion into it when you have a group of people who believe their God promised them that land? I mean, and who are we to say they're wrong? In modern standards, if a person believes that way, you should leave their beliefs alone, right? I mean, we're taught to leave the Muslims' beliefs alone and other people's beliefs alone. So why shouldn't we leave the Jewish people's beliefs alone? Because it doesn't fit a narrative.
And Israel is a small country
really
surrounded by Iran and other
Iraq,
Egypt,
Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt,
Saudi Arabia,
Syria. Yep. So, I mean, on the bottom side, I mean, look, this is, I sort of said this last week. This is all about security for them. This right here is a security blanket because, look, all these nations are bigger than them.
Yeah.
And if they really wanted to team up, they could team up and fight Israel. Here's the problem with fighting Israel. Their military is like ours. We provide them with all their military artillery, our military aircraft, military things that they need to fend off these people. Why don't you think that Syria has come over here and jumped on those guys? They don't want to. They know they're going to get they're going to get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
That's exactly the bottom line. Sorry to use that word. They're going to get their ass kicked.
That is absolutely it. They're stronger than all 5 or 6 of those countries surrounding them. Mm-hmm. Where they're smart enough not to take that step.
Egypt found out quickly in what was it, 14 days, David? Mm-hmm. Or 13 days?
13 days.
13 days. 13 days. Part of the problem with dealing with Israel is not just the technology that America has given to them. Part of it is the people of Israel believe that is their home that was given to them by God. And when you have somebody that believes that, and you mess with them, you're not just messing with somebody you're messing with a religious person that believes they're destined to live there, and that is a very dangerous person because their lives basically, if I die in this cause, God is going to be happy with me. It's just like looking at this is a terrible comparison, but looking at a terrorist. Mm-hmm. They believe Allah is going to give them how many ever virgins in heaven if they die for the cause. Well, that's not what the Israeli people believe. They just believe that land is theirs and God's promised it to them, and they're going to keep it. And that was God's word, so they're helping to fulfill God's word.
Well, Jesus was born, raised, preached in that area.
Mm-hmm. He's Israeli.
How can you not?
Jewish. He was Jewish.
Yeah. How can you not say that it's not when it is?
Religion is a really hard subject to talk about because I can have a different belief than you can have a different belief, and there are a bunch of different religions in this world. Some of them, like the Jewish religion, think that Jesus was a holy man. They do not believe he was a son of God, but they believe he was a holy man who preached the word of God. There were some blasphemies in there because he claimed to be the Son of God, but they still thought he was a holy man because of his teachings were of God.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets difficult. Now, can you say that the Muslim religion and the Jewish religion are tied? There are some people that say that Abraham, the God of Abraham, and Allah is the same entity because where that religion came from was the descendants of Abraham. One of the offshoot groups that, and if you play that though, you better be ready for biblical scholars to go, yeah, that's one of the groups that God basically abandoned because of their actions. But I mean, you could say all of this. You could do this. We've been doing this since before BC, right, David? Mm-hmm. You know, it's a very difficult subject to deal with. There's Christians that don't like Jewish people because they think that they killed Jesus, and it wasn't the Jewish people that killed Jesus. It was the religious fallacies that were actually in control of the Jewish faith at the time. And there's a difference between corrupt people who are running a faith and the actual religion itself. So it's just a very difficult subject to talk about when you start talking about religion in this.
Yeah, it is. And it ties into everything, too. That's the only thing, you know what I mean? When you're talking about what's going on over there, like Byron said, you can't help but to bring religion into it because it really started out, like Dave said. I mean, Jesus, so whatever, if you believe in Jesus, that he walked this whole area, and went to different areas at the time. I know Nazareth and Bethlehem and Jerusalem and Hebron. You hear all these names within the Bible, within, as Tom Bailey said, read Ezekiel chapter 38 and it'll tell some of the story about this as well. So, and he's exactly right.
Well, one of the cities that you have up there ties into what I was talking about the Jewish people coming into Israel, and how they took the country back from the people who weren't following God, and that's Jericho.
Jericho, right? Yep.
I mean, Joshua. How many people have heard of the story of Joshua and the Battle of Jericho? I mean, the shaking of the walls with the trumpets and the shattering of the walls through God's faith. I mean, there's so much wrapped up with the Christian religion in the Jewish faith because it's base faith for Christianity. Believe it or not, I mean, Jesus is our Savior if you're a Christian. But Jesus was Jewish. His father is the God of Israel. He is the God of the Israelites. So it's all wrapped up. And it becomes very difficult because you're talking about two of the largest world religions when you talk about Islam and you talk about Christianity and Judaism. So, I mean, the first book of the Bible is basically the Torah, by the way. That's the book that the Jews follow. The text.
Mm-hmm. Mitchell said 6 memorable days known to Israelis as the 6-Day War and to Arabs and others as the 1967 War redrew the region's landscape in fundamental ways. In those 6 days, Israel defeated 3 Arab armies, gained territory 4 times its original size, and became the preeminent military power in that region. Absolutely right, Mitchell. You hit it right on the head. Now, let me see here. I want to say, did the battle sort of take place right in here? I'm trying to remember where that happened, where most of that took place.
David, I was so young when that happened.
I'm trying to remember. I haven't. Yeah,
I'd have to go back.
I'd have to go back and look too. Yeah. Jesus said, "No man take my life; I gladly lay it down." Tom Bailey, you're right. And again, I don't want to get into a religious thing here. I just want me and Byron to be able to tie this in. Well, like I said, we'll get into more of why this is all occurring at this particular state. But I do want to leave you with this. And I don't know what Byron said last week, and I'd have to go back and maybe he can tell me. But look, what happened on October the 7th? My thing is, I understand this is run by Hamas. There's 2.3 million people there, and I'm sure there's a lot of good Palestinians that live there. That's not affiliated with Hamas or any terrorist group. Here's the problem. Do you know who they are? Do you know who's good and who's bad? If they really wanted to do something about this, I think, again, I don't know this for sure, I think that they could overtake this and gotten Hamas out of there. Now, that's easier said than done, right? Because once Hamas hears this kind of stuff and these terrorist groups, what do? They come after you. They kill you and your family. And they don't think twice about it.
In really horrible ways, too.
Yeah,
David.
I've seen some of that stuff. It's really horrible. So I want to get into that, but I think I've heard, I know somebody that's Palestinian, a really good friend of mine, but we talked about this last week, who he is and where his wife teaches. And very nice people. Did things the right way, came over here, made a living. Raised a family here. Now their kids are going to school. They're, university. Some of them are working now because they're older. And he said something to me that was very striking a little bit. And I didn't want to get into it with him just then. But he said, David, the reason October 7th happened, he said, this has been going on, just as me and Byron and all of us said, it's been going on for many years, for a long time. He said, the reason October 7th happened was a wake-up call. Sort of, to say, hey, we're suffering here. This shouldn't have escalated more than what it is. If you're wanting a wake-up call, and you're wanting to reach, and he told me he wanted the world leaders, all the world leaders, to know what was happening in this 6 by 25 mile radius. And I think they know. I think there's information to know what was going on there. Why didn't, if Hamas is saying this, and or the Palestinian people that aren't affiliated with Hamas, why didn't they just come out and say, hey, look, we want the world leaders to know that we're in trouble. Could we have done it another way? My thing is, couldn't that have been done another way? And man, it's so, I love this guy. I do, man. And I understand it to an extent, but why that way? Why bomb? You know what I'm saying? Or and make me understand here, because this is tough for me to understand, especially when he's my friend and I want to sympathize with him and his people too. But then I've got to look at the reality of things as well.
The bottom line, David, is the Palestinian people are hostage to Hamas. And the big issue is, as a world leader, how do you look at an organization or a country that is actually governed by a terrorist organization, and take anything that they say seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you take seriously a group that hides their military capabilities in hospitals, churches, and schools? So when another country blows them up, they have propaganda to put on TV about how many women, children, and innocents died. How do you take that seriously? And see, that's part of what the issue is. How do you take the people in the Gaza Strip that are peaceful people and just want to be left alone and worship how they want to, away from that reputation. Because as a world leader, I have to look at it like I'm not having dealings with a terrorist organization. I'm not. I don't care. I'm not doing it because my country can't handle that reputation as people who basically ally with terrorists. And that's what Hamas is a terrorist organization. That's really tough, David, to sit there and have somebody that you know that's going through that. I mean, the only answer is they get rid of Hamas.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how much bloodshed do you have to get rid of a terrorist organization amongst your people? And how much chaos does it cost in the community and as a nation as small as the Gaza Strip is, or as Gaza is? I mean, what does that cost them? It's tough. I mean, it's really, really tough.
It is, and I really didn't have an answer for him. And, again, I was sitting there listening as a friend and a sympathizer in a way for his people because, again, he did not grow up in the Gaza Strip. So I will say that. He did not grow up in Gaza Strip. He grew up in the West Bank. In a little town called Nablus right here. His mom and dad worked in Haifa. They went to work every day. It's about 35, 40 miles. And they went to work every day. They were peace-loving people. They even said that they lived with some, they were friends with some Jews and neighbors with some Jews. And they farmed together. And they did things. And they were peaceful people. And, again, I don't think, unless you can correct me or Mitchell here, I've seen a couple of things that I want to read there. I don't believe that any of this is ran by Hamas. I don't think, and if there is, it's very little because I haven't heard of anything. I would have to look that up. I don't know that for a fact. I do know that the Gaza Strip is. There's no doubt about that. We know that. But I don't know if any of the West Bank and the Sinai Peninsula or any of that is run by Hamas. According to him, it's not. He said, this is mainly ran by Palestinian government.
And in the Palestinian government, Hamas.
So, here. Yes, I agree.
Wasn't Yasser Arafat elected? I don't know if he's still alive or not, but
yeah. It's tough. And yeah, I agree, brother. I know what you're saying, man. I sit here and I go, man, I don't know what to say.
As far as the comment about it's a wake-up call. Yeah, it's a wake-up call. You're right, it's a wake-up call. But there's an old saying that Americans have. You don't poke a sleeping bear because he's going to bite you. And that's exactly what Israel did. They bit them. And they're going to continue to do it until it stops. See, that's what doesn't make any sense because there are ways to do this.
Yep.
And you're not going to get everything you want out of this. Neither state is. See, that's the problem. Most countries want it their way or the highway.
Right.
There are some countries who will bargain with you and make a deal that's good together. But a lot of the things that Hamas wants is the end of Israel. But they'll chop it up into bits and force the Israeli people into corners, saying it was theirs to begin with. Well, it wasn't. That's the problem. This is all such a nightmare from a diplomatic standpoint. Why do you think America forever did not recognize the true capital of Israel until Donald Trump did it in his last year as president? It's a diplomatic mess.
Mitchell said that you got to get rid of the cancer. Absolutely. And, they're trying to do that. We're trying to do that. He said the real problem is Iran. You have to cut the head off the snake to stop the terrorism from these proxy groups. Well, just not only Iran. How about Syria? Iraq too. There's Afghanistan. I mean, you can name. You can name a lot of countries around there that's got and house these terrorist cells. And when you cut a head off the snake of one, there seems to be another one or another 2 or 3 that pop up. When does it end? When does it end? When does it end? It doesn't.
I think what Mitchell's talking about is Iran being the biggest state sponsor of terrorism in the world.
Yeah.
And I think that's what his comment about cutting the head of the snake off. Iran has to be dealt with.
Yeah, I agree.
One way or the other, they've already declared that they want to destroy the little Satan, which is Israel, and the big Satan, which is
America.
the United States. Mm-hmm. These people are crazy. Those mullahs are nuts. They want to start the third caliphate or the sixth caliphate or whatever it is by blowing up the world. That's what they want to do. They want to bring Allah back to earth by basically destroying the world in a great ball of fire. Mm-hmm. They're crazy. I mean, people can take it for what they want to, and they can, say, I don't understand it. But when somebody says that they want to destroy your country, and make no mistake, they have said they want to destroy the United States. I'm entitled to my opinion as a person that lives in the United States to say, you are nuts. Because if you start poking the big bear will put his paw on you and crush you. Yeah. I ask Iraq. Mm-hmm. And it'll happen faster than it did in Iraq because we won't put boots on the ground this time. We'll just blow you to oblivion.
Yeah, Mitchell said, hit Iran's oil industry and hurt their funding for those groups.
Or quit giving them funding.
Or quit giving them funding, yeah.
And put the embargoes back on and let the country go broke, and then their own people will handle it. I mean, that's what we were doing during the last president's administration, and it was working. There was almost a revolution going on in that country. But no, we have to start giving them billions of dollars. And guess what? In this new border safety bill or whatever that they're doing with that now, or calling that now, there is funding for guess who? For Iran and for more for the Ukraine. And the one for the Ukraine is really scary because it's billions of dollars. 63 or 60. Have you heard that number?
I have not heard that number.
It's like 63 or 65 billion dollars. What you can do for the United States with 63 or 65 billion dollars? You could house and feed every homeless person in this country. The people that don't have food and do have homes, you could feed them too. All over the money that we're sending to the Ukraine. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to see the Ukrainian people suffer. But I also don't want to sit here and waste money on something that's none of our business in the first place.
And who knows how much of that 60-something billion is actually being used on the effort to fight Russia.
That's the problem. Where does the money go?
Where does the money go?
You have no control over that once it's given to them. That's like what happened everybody talks about this one as an example. Mm-hmm. What happened in Haiti? All of that money that people raised to go to Haiti for all the starving people and everything else, you know where that went to? It didn't go to the Haitian people. It went straight into politicians' pocketbooks. So, I mean,
I allegedly heard a story where a man bought a very expensive motel in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
Spent $60 million on buying this motel.
Mm-hmm.
His nationality, Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. There's a ton of money in the Ukraine from the oil industry, or there was up until Russia annexed part of it, and the last time Putin was doing this nonsense, and there is a very strange geopolitical thing going on over there right now, which I haven't completely figured out. There are some things that make sense, and there's some things that don't make sense about it. And when you start looking at things like that, the best thing to do is follow the money trail. And you start following that, you're going to get into a can of worms where you're talking about groups like Halliburton, which is, of course, tied to the Bushes. And you're going to find that all of that stuff that was going on over there with Biden and his son, that stuff is, there is just a whole lot of stuff that's really, really fishy about that whole entire situation, minus Putin. You leave Putin out, that's a KGB agent that wants to reform the USSR. So you start adding all of this together and you end up with a political nightmare, just like what's going on in Israel.
All right, it is 8:45.
Oh, wow.
Man, I tell you, we've been going out there for an hour and 45 minutes. David Rodgers, Byron Bagwell, Dave Holland here with you on the spot with David Rodgers. Glad that you can join us tonight. Very good subject. Says we're going to get ready to wrap up the Tuesday night show, but I wanted to leave you with one other thing. Don't forget, Dave's got it right in the right-hand corner on the spot. 32091 at gmail.com is our email address. I would like to leave you with this, and what I want is the winning team and the score. We got the big Super Bowl game coming up this Sunday between the 49ers and the Chiefs. What I want you to do is, instead of doing it right here on the live feed, I want you to email us your name and the score prediction. Let's do a score prediction. It'll be a little bit harder. So let's say if you want the Chiefs to win, or you think the Chiefs are going to win 31-21, that will be your score. If we have multiple scores and multiple winners, what we'll do is we'll put your name in a hat at the end there on next Tuesday night's show for a drawing, and it will be for a $25 gift certificate to the Downtown Grill. So make sure you get your predictions in on the big game. You can email it to us on the spot, 32091 at gmail.com. David, I think that would be best instead of all of us getting bombarded with score predictions and we may forget it. I think that's the best thing to do is just go on the spot, 32091 at gmail.com. Final words for you guys, man, and then we're going to shut her down. Anything, David, that you want to say?
I just enjoyed the conversation with Israel and all the mess that's going on over there. Thank you, guys.
Well, you're welcome. Mm-hmm. Score prediction, David. That's my final thought. What you got?
Chiefs 28-24. Patrick Mahomes will find a way to pull it out.
Well, I was thinking a little bit opposite of that. I was thinking 49ers 28-17.
Okay. Well, that's our score prediction right there.
I'm going to go with...
Care less on the winner of the Super Bowl, Mitchell said. Yeah, well, we don't have a dog in the fight either.
Dallas fan. What you got,
What
Dave?
you got, Dave?
Oh, I'm thinking somewhere around Chiefs.
Chiefs winning it?
Yeah, not sure.
Not sure of the score, but just
Yeah,
him
I'm
making
thinking
one more play.
it's
Mahomes
probably
pulling
gonna-
something out of his tail.
It's probably going to go down to a field goal.
Probably. Could be. It's happened before, so... we'll answer that next week. Judith, how about that?
I'm going to have to watch that interview, Judith.
Yeah, me too. So, all right. On behalf of Super Dave Holland, the Byron Bagwell, David Rodgers, God bless you. Have a great Tuesday night. Have a great rest of the week. Don't forget about the big game. If you're going to be out celebrating, don't drink and drive, please. Call an Uber, call a friend, call us. We'll come get you. Please don't drink and drive. Have fun, but be safe at it. God bless you. We'll see you next Tuesday night.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.